Channel 27, WKYT-TV, Lexington.
Improving safety in Kentucky's mines. Details next on 27 News First.
27 News First. Sports with Rob Bromley. Weather with Brad James. News with John Lindgren and Barbara Bailey. 27 News First at 5:30.
A very pleasant good evening. A new push to make roof bolting a safer coal mining job. Today in Lexington, coal miners and operators had a chance to tell representatives of the Federal Mine Safety and Health Administration how they feel about the present state and safety in the mines. As Jerry Sander reports, much of the talk centered on a piece of equipment called the Automatic Temporary Roof Support System.
Roof bolting is perhaps the most dangerous job in underground mining. The bolters are the advanced team in the coal business, going where no man has gone before to secure the mine roof for the extraction operation. The new device, known as ATRS, is designed to temporarily support the roof until permanent bolts can be installed. While a number of the larger Kentucky mines are using them, they're not required in the state yet, but that might be changing.
Impression you on this?
The impression of those attending the MSHA hearing was that a federal regulation requiring the device will come. The question is how soon and to what extent. Some small mine operators have said they can't afford it, but the Mine Workers Union wants to see the machine in every underground mine.
They're some of the most independent rich people in the United States. They could buy and sell some of your corporate heads. We can't compromise the lives of our coal miners because they can't afford to protect them.
Another question surrounds the adaptability of automatic temporary roof support systems to extremely low coal.
In coal heights under 42 inches, it's going to be a little difficult to provide that type of equipment.
Robert Wade is an ATRS manufacturer.
And we feel that we can get this machine down to 30 inches. We don't feel that we can go below 30 inches with it.
How quickly do you think it can go to 30 inches?
Within this year.
Similar hearings are scheduled in Pittsburgh and Denver. Observers expect to see a regulation requiring ATRS with an exemption process in the near future. Jerry Sander, 27 News First.
Meanwhile, a district judge has decided in favor of the United Mine Workers and against the A.T. Massey Coal Company in a dispute over contract coverage. Judge Dennis Knapp is ordering Massey to follow the grievance and arbitration procedures laid out in the union contracts. Massey had said it wasn't bound to those procedures. The UMW filed suit in January saying Massey was bypassing contract provisions by taking all labor disputes before a national labor board. Massey was the target of a bitter 16-month strike in which it argued that all of its subsidiaries were, for contract purposes, independent companies.
Legislation designed to set hiring practices for those who work in daycare centers around Kentucky has been stalled by a Senate committee. The Senate Judiciary Civil Committee passed over a bill that would keep those convicted of sex crimes from working in daycare centers. Several senators agreed something should be done for protection after national attention about child abuse in certain daycare centers. But others said a clause in the bill that would require fingerprinting of all applicants for employment was very questionable. The bill's sponsor agreed to have the legislation delayed for 1 week in order to solve some problems, but did say something is needed for a child's protection.
The issue is of concern enough that some approach ought to be made to make certain that those that have access to children for extended periods of time and recognize that the parents frequently don't know who's employed in that center. They may know the operator, the proprietor, but they don't necessarily know the other people working in there.
Before the legislation was tabled, it had been amended to delete crimes of violence as an exclusion from daycare center jobs. High school teachers in eastern Kentucky apparently will have the benefit of additional instruction from Morehead State University professors. That's after a House committee decided to reinstate the needed funds for the program. A House subcommittee has deleted the appropriations from the budget, but an eastern Kentucky representative argued that the $400,000 that will be spent on the project the next 2 years is needed to upgrade high school education in eastern Kentucky.
Through that program at Morehead, that's an outreach into eastern Kentucky where we don't have a university, that we have enrolled in that program approximately 500 teachers per semester. Now that not only serves Pike County, it serves all of eastern Kentucky counties like.
The House committee also heard testimony during a public hearing on establishing a merit system for certain local school board employees, but adjourned without official action on that matter.
They've got all the numbers and they're on their way to your doorstep. A look at the new look as 27 News First continues.
New telephone directories will soon be distributed in the Lexington area. About 220,000 new phone books, which were printed in St. Petersburg, Florida, arrived in town today. The new book is much more attractive than past directories, and GTE spokesman Ed Shelby says more features have been added to keep pace with new competition in the industry.
Major differences you can see are the blue pages. We saw that throughout the industry people were moving in that direction, and there's a lot more information about the community that people can use. Locator maps, I know when I first came into Lexington, I sure could have used those. So I think it's going to be easier for people to use. It's more consumer oriented, clearly the book is.
The new directories will be delivered in Fayette, Jessamine, and Woodford counties over the next 3 weeks, so you can be looking for those, John.
And if the weather stays the way it is, those gentlemen are going to have a good time out there because it's getting warmer again.
That's true. They won't get soggy on the doorstep, too, I hope.
I hope not. Brad, what have you got in store for us now as far as the weather?
I hope they wait a few days to make that delivery.
Uh-oh. I get the feeling maybe today
is too soon.
Yes, one of those days and it's going to get worse again.
It's changing rapidly. Our forecast yesterday called for blue skies for the next several days, but now we're looking at snow in the forecast for some sections of Kentucky, especially to the north and to the northeast. There's a winter storm watch for Ohio and West Virginia. Those folks may get several inches of snow. The best chance for snow will be tomorrow in the northern and northeastern parts of Kentucky. Here in the Bluegrass region, we're talking about rain or snow. And for you folks in the east and the southeast, it looks like it's going to start as snow and maybe be mixed with some rain tomorrow afternoon. All of it depends on temperatures. And although it's been a very warm, pleasant day today for all of Kentucky, it looks as though those temperatures tomorrow and later on tonight are going to be right at the critical point. In the meantime, there is a low-pressure system moving very rapidly out of southern Canada down toward the Ohio River Valley, so that's going to be influencing our weather too. So the precipitation could go either way in the form of rain or snow. At this time, it looks as though it's going to be snow over northern and northeastern Kentucky, maybe snow over central and the eastern parts of the state. We'll have more about that later on. Let's check some temperatures now across our region. Very pleasant weather today, plenty of sunshine, mild temperatures, 48 in Paducah, 48 in Nashville, Tennessee, 43 in Evansville, 45 in Bowling Green, 32 in Indianapolis, 43 in Louisville, 37 in Covington, 38 at the Weather Service office down in Jackson, 35 in the Huntington-Ashland area, 41 down in London. Here's our current weather map. High pressure over the eastern part of the nation. Plenty of sunshine for all of Kentucky. Sunshine actually from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf and almost over to the mid-Atlantic coast. But we have a warm front stretching from Arkansas back into Canada and a low pressure system just barely visible on the screen up there. This warm front is producing snow and or freezing rain for portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin this evening, and part of that system is going to be influencing our weather toward morning and also during the day tomorrow, because the low up there will be moving on down and crossing just north of the Ohio River Valley during the day tomorrow. It's moving very quickly. So it's bringing with it the potential for producing precipitation in the form of rain or snow for a large area of Kentucky. It looks as though now that the snow will be in the northern portion of the state, rain in the central and the higher elevations of eastern and southeastern Kentucky. It could go either way. So it's going to be an if-then type of arrangement, and we may have to change these forecasts later on tonight and also during the day tomorrow as the system begins to make its move. By tomorrow morning, that low will have dropped all the way down to Minnesota, moving right on in toward the northern portion of Illinois, curving across Indiana and Ohio during the day tomorrow. So as you can see, our forecast map for morning also shows snow in the northern portion of Kentucky. Our daytime highs tomorrow should be in the mid-30s, possibly around 40 degrees, depending on what part of the state you're in. That's going to have some influence on this system too. So here's our forecast map for tonight. Mostly cloudy in the southwestern part of Kentucky. Rain or snow by morning through Louisville into the Bluegrass region. 50% chance for snow for you folks in northern and the northeastern portion of the state. So if you live around Moorhead over toward the Huntington-Ashland area, 50% chance of snow. Also from around Falmouth up toward the Ohio River. And there's a 20% chance of snow for south central and southeastern Kentucky. But by tomorrow it looks even worse. Cloudy skies still in the southwest. Rain for the bluegrass region. 70% chance of snow for northern and northeastern Kentucky, and a 50% chance of snow for southeastern and south central Kentucky. And some of this snow down here may be mixed with rain, depending on how those temperatures go. Let's look at our forecast now. For tonight, becoming mostly cloudy, chance of rain or snow before morning. Lows will range from around 25 to 32. Winds will be light. For tomorrow, it looks like this. Mostly cloudy with rain in the bluegrass region, snow in the east and the southeast. A high of 42 central, 35 to 38 in the east and the north. Winds will be from the southwest at 5 to 15. For Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. Central, a chance of snow in the east. And finally, our low for Wednesday night will be around 25 degrees. Better weather in the forecast for Thursday.
This is winter reruns, no kidding.
Yes, it is.
Thanks.
Ahead on 27 News First, Jeff Howard will continue his series on the state of Kentucky's thoroughbred industry.
Georgetown Today, a growing community, growing in pride, a town fulfilling the dreams of its people. Georgetown, the pride of Kentucky, a city for today and tomorrow.